I am Damion Johnson, and I'm a man of many hats. I'm one artist to the core, freelance artist, and I kind of focus on the two-dimensional painting and drawing. I'm also an art teacher at Orangeburg-Wilkinson High School, and I'm also a small business owner here in Orangeburg. I own Fade's Barbershop, so those are the two things I do. Coming out of school, teaching was something I said I'd never do. But life has a way of kind of, putting you in different places. I couldn't find a job in professional art no entry-level jobs right out of college. So I took a teaching job. Maybe 2 months into it, I found out that I loved teaching and that I could teach. So I stuck with it for a while. And I left it for 5 years and I came back to it. So I think the most fulfilling thing about teaching in the arts especially is that you're sharing exactly what you do or what you know with somebody. It's not so much I'm going from a book and I'm teaching you what they say. I'm sharing, from within, what I do, and I'm sharing it with you. So that's the biggest thing I love about teaching. One of my biggest accomplishments would probably be, and this is coming from more of a self-gratification point of view. One of my biggest accomplishments would probably have been me seeing one of my former students actually implement a lot of the things that we talked about, and actually kind of land a few art jobs. For instance, I had a student down in Bamberg when I used to teach. I saw that student maybe 4 years later, and the way I met him was through a commission that he had. He's taken on an art commission, and he did some work, some mural work for an agency. And he mentioned my name during talks with some of the guys at the agency, and I felt really good about knowing some of the things that I had seeded in him or shared with him. Him actually putting those things in place. So that's probably one of my best moments when it comes to art, because in essence it's more of a sharing thing, not a teaching thing. So I shared what I had in me with him, and I saw all that seed kind of grow into a tree, everything coming to fruition. So that was one of my greatest moments. You might have had streaks going through all your darker values. Once you start overlaying, you might have had streaks. All right. The reason you might have had streaks is you probably was just going crazy with the color. All right. Pressing down hard, going crazy with the color instead of shading the area. Well, the two biggest challenges I face as far as being a teacher or a high school teacher, the first of those would be actually scheduling. Teachers of elective classes usually get, they call us the dumping ground sometimes, because we get a lot of students who just didn't sign up for the class. They needed an elective and they kind of dumped into your class. So the challenge with those students are to either capture their attention and kind of make them receptive to learning something new. And but some of them just are not into learning anything new, and of course they're not talented in the area, so they kind of fight you on that. The second one is the schools actually seeding into the arts or giving the arts enough attention, and that goes from scheduling to resources. Sometimes you fight with having enough resources and material supplies, different things like that. So you got to kind of be creative. But those are the only two big problems I've seen in education. In my opinion, I'm no greater than these students. I'm a million miles away from where I am, but I embrace the journey. So I'm not half of what I'm going to be as far as artistic, as far as it pertains to the arts. I got a ways to go. My ultimate goal is to be able to create when I want, how I want, and what I want. But I know that takes financing, and that takes a level of skill. And you only gain these things through work. So as I grow and as I work, my work will fund my vision, and the journey itself will teach me more and more and more, and that will improve my talent level. So I'm not halfway I want to be, as far as the art's concerned. The biggest challenges I face as an artist is actually gaining the proper exposure. And that's just one of the challenges that every artist will face. I think it's a saying that says you're one person away. And what you got to try to do is kind of align yourself to actually have that one person see you or see what you do. So exposure is a big problem. And it's a timely thing. I don't even know if it's a cure or a remedy for that. but exposure is probably just the biggest thing I face as an artist. All right, how do I find time to balance my goals and other goals? And this is one thing that visual artists, performing artists are the same. They run into this wall with trying to perform or trying to be an artist and teach art, because teaching is very, very constriction in time. It takes a lot of your time. It will actually dominate a lot of your time, because when you finish teaching, you get home and you're tired. But what I have found is to embrace everything I teach. What I do is no different than what I'm teaching them. What I do is on a higher level. So what I do is I make time and I make ways, even if it's during lesson, I'll turn some of my instruction into an actual model, or I demonstrate. And I demonstrate on work that I'm working on. So in turn, I'm giving them a demonstration. I'm showing them and kind of impressing them with your talent so you gain their attention. I'm showing them what I can do, but I'm also working on some of my work at the same time. So I think it's more so a balance, because you're never going to find time. It's only 24 hours in a day. So you're never going to find time, but it's more so finding a balance in actually doing what you do and teaching the kids, not letting one thing, dominate all of the time.